in the bottom left, the online warrior returned into the battlegrounds once again. It's Cure. His opponent in the upper right in the red, going for a Reaper expand. It's Byun. Or actually, I'm no, sorry, this is a gas first. Interesting. So normally, the standard build, and then we see Cure is a good evidence of this. You go barracks, double gas factory, then you build your command center. It is not as greedy as the Reaper expand, but it is also not as aggressive as, say, a gas first. And it works out because it's just this nice middle of the road build where you have the tools that you require to hold off most builds that an aggressive Terran would do, and you have enough tools defensively, or in a macro sense, an economic sense, to be able to catch up to not be too far behind against, say, someone going for Reaper expand. Oh no, yeah, this is Reaper expand. Excuse me, never mind. I'm so used to seeing everything else. I'm like, oh, I guess it was a gas first. I mean, so technically, but no, this is just Reaper expand coming in from Byun. And now the question we ask ourselves is whether Cure can punish, because he will have more Hellions, more Reapers if he chooses to do that. And on Data C, on what is one of the largest maps in the pool, I'm not sure if it is technically the largest. Tropical Sacrifice may hold a candle for that one. Although I think Tropical Sacrifice's rush distance is actually pretty short. Actually, that's a fun fact. Waterfall is the smallest map we've ever had in a ladder map pool, in terms of just X by Y size, total area. But the fun fact about that is that it's not the shortest rush distance in the pool. I'm not sure what the shortest rush distance is. It might actually, it might actually be Tropical Sacrifice. That is a really short rush. I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to go take a look at the last time I looked at the Liquipedia entries for the maps, they didn't have rush distances input just yet. But anyway, Hellions on the way, Reapers on the way. Do we see 3 Reaper, 2 Hellion? Does Cure go up to 5? Now, the lack of a reactor tells us that he probably stops at 3 Reapers. Generally, when he goes up to 5 Reaper, 3 Hellion, he does get that reactor rather early on. But there we go. Okay, reactor now. So Cure, he's got what it takes to be a little aggressive on the map, but half the time with the setups like this, we see the Terran just kind of sit on their high ground and hope their opponent gets aggressive. But in this game, Cure, who has, by the way, scouted absolutely nothing. This is going to be the first time he's going to show himself on the other side of the map, is going to find a finished orbital. And that is not going to feel good for the man. He's going to say, okay, you went for Reaper expand. Now I need to be able to punish it. But Byun on 4 Hellions here. He is going to be able to deal with this push from Cure. The Cure should not get too much damage to the Hellions. Now looking for the bit of a surround. Grenade is going to zone him out for the moment. Second grenade. Hellions trying to chase their grenade here as well. A couple workers will fall, but this entire army from Cure is just doomed. He's trying to get as much value as he can. Byun really unimpressed by this. He doesn't even pull the SCVs out of the way. He gets it all. And yeah, sure, we look at the worker count. We say it's equal. But Byun has been able to mine more. More often, it means he's going to be able to find his way a little bit quicker into that gas on the natural, and he is going to build himself up to just a marginal worker lead. Those 3 workers going down does equalize the SCV count just a little bit, just a small amount. But it does help out of it does make life a little bit nicer for Cure, certainly. But Byun, I mean, still, he's in a fantastic position in this game. He's got a faster Raven now because, well, he greeded out. He did not commit to as many gas-heavy early game units. He only got 1 Reaper. And now what are we at? We are at 5 Hellions and a little bit of other stuff. Byun's going to try to dive on top of these Marines. There we go. Marine doesn't get targeted down, but there's a Cyclone here. And now we have the lock on. It's done, but Byun gets a couple more Marines. It's really hard to fight into that play, though. Is the Raven? Ooh, Byun's going to lose a Raven here. A little bit of a mistake. On the auto turret, it gets a little bit. Oh, it's going to get 3 workers, so that's going to reestablish the worker lead for Byun once again. So actually, what are our Raven counts at right now? Cure again foregoing that. Byun could have had such a Raven lead. But he's going to have a second Raven out before Cure's first does finish. But the double Cyclone was a fantastic mind game there from Cure. Byun saw the Cyclone in the front. He said, okay, I'm fine. I can run the Raven in. I can be aggressive with it. But there was a second Cyclone. Normally you only get 1. So now is the time for Cure to get aggressive on the map. He's got a tank. He's got a couple Marines. He's got a Raven. That means that this push, while maybe not having the most stuff, is extremely tech heavy, and it's going to be difficult for Byun to shove off. Now, I do like, part of it is just the map. There's not a really good siege up position to say get on this tech lab or get on this reactor from Cure, which is possible on a lot of maps. And let's say that if Byun had built his bases, his production structures right there, for example, then he would have been sieged up. So Byun reacted Vikings out on the way. Third base just about done, adding those additional barracks. He understands that there's a scary pushing position coming in from, or a scary pushing opportunity coming in from here. So Byun says, well, yeah, I'm just going to reactor out Vikings. I'm going to have that air superiority as we're looking at 2 Vikings to 0. And yeah, there's a Raven, but this is just going to be a dead Raven. It's got to drop both auto turrets, and you got to be careful with what you got on the ground, what you got in the air here. And auto turrets going to knock down, actually, they're going to knock down a couple of these Hellions, but really the timing of this is over for the most part. So losing the Hellions to make sure you don't lose any SCVs is not really that bad of a choice there from Byun. His third base now on the way, floating on over. Third base actually done a pretty decent timing here for Cure, and he does find himself a minor supply lead. Is Cure getting set up for the next stage of this game, drop north side, because he figures that eventually Byun's going to move out, or he's going to move out. He's going to find an opportunity, maybe run into the Cyclones looking for a lock-on on the orbital, and they're not even locking on, but they will force Byun to react right, which means that maybe this drop can get something done. Good double lock on those Cyclones, or they're dead. In fact, they're more than dead. They're over dead. And some of you may take exception to the fact that I said, you know, it's going to be Dark and Cyan in the semis, and Dark Firefly is not over yet. Well, let's be real here for a second, folks. I know casters are not supposed to have bias, but let's be realistic about how this works. If Firefly beats Dark, that would be the most insane upset I've ever seen. But Cure, actually, he's got a decent supply lead sitting here on, yeah, I guess he just got his production now just a little bit faster. Third base a little slower. And Byun will have upgrades faster, of course. Byun stim done for both sides. Byun's combat shields done faster. 1-1 done faster here. But Tank's going to try to unsiege. Not really going to be all that successful. This drop now here it comes in from Cure. He's been patient as all hell. And now it's time for him to find some damage as there's the push to the front. Byun kind of looking for a flank a little bit. Drop on top of the mineral line. It's just running in. Oh, it's a split drop here. This is really cool from Cure. So SCVs is going to get pulled. 7 workers, 8 workers will die. And in the main base, now Cure will go looking for a push at the front. But the Vikings, they're starting to go down. Byun winning that trade. And into the main base, Byun looking to find something. But Cure gets 13 workers. And that is oh so nice right before the upgrades of Byun complete here as well. So he can trade rather nicely. And that's all that Cure wanted. Now he finds himself up about 15 workers. And yeah, he's down upgrades. So maybe he can't push with bio for the next 30 seconds. But I'm not sure that he minds, because again, this economic situation that Cure has bought for himself at this point, bought with the drop that he set up 5 minutes ago, puts him in just an incredible spot in this game. As already getting ready for the fourth base going down on location. Sure, Byun as well. And eventually Byun will equalize the worker count, because there's kind of an upper limit on how many SCVs you want to make. So Byun will be able to drag his economy back into the game. But Cure, for the time being, that means Cure can build more army. It means Cure can build more production. It means that maybe Byun is going to forget to get his +2 armor like he always does. But Byun in the main base, you know, he says, look, anything you can do, I can do better. He's got a double drop here, not a single one, targeting down the armory, so no +2 in sight, no tank upgrades in sight for the blue Terran players. Now Byun stimming on top, trying to get on top of this Viking. Will not, or on top of some Vikings, will not get it. Byun on backwards. All the tanks are in the main base, dropping the main base from Cure as well. He said, oh, you had a double drop. Byun, fine. I'm going to go for a triple drop. 13 SCVs die in the blink of an eye. Byun not in position to defend this, and he's just going to lose his orbital. That's a big problem. Byun on the other side of the map going for a bit of a base trade. He says, well, if you got 3 medevacs in my main base, that's fine. I'm going to take siege on everything the hell on up. I'm going to kill your third, and I'm going to try to do even better than that, but the bio cannot take this fight. Byun losing pretty much all the production in his main base, going to try to stim on top, but it's 1-1 versus 1-1. His +2 is not done just yet. Byun, soon to be on only 2 barracks, so he's got to build a couple more. And he does not. And he does not kill his opponent's production the same, or his opponent's orbitals in the same way that he does. He does not even take this fight. Even the SCVs get pulled, but he's killed 13 or 20 SCVs from his opponent. This game is going nuts in game 1. It's absolutely delivering. Vikings are going to land on top of the tanks, but Byun opting into this fight right now. His +2 is not yet done. Tank siege up, though. Byun cannot get on top of things. Auto turret gets dropped. The tanks are going to clean everything on up. And now Byun, he's got to be dead, right? He has very little production. This barracks is burning. He's lost so much of his army. He doesn't nearly have as much production. But I guess he will have +2 attack, and that will make his bio that much better. Please, Byun, you got to repair that one. There we go. So he's on double orbital. Cure on triple, as Cure did lose the 4th, I think. Yes, he did. And Byun, okay, Byun's on triple orbital once again. He says, yeah, that's fine. I can't afford a planetary. I need to make up for my economy in some way. He's down about 12 workers. But remember, the main base of Cure is much more mined out than the 4th base of Byun is. So Byun's economy is going to be okay, and he does have 1 marine upgrade as Vikings now go forward. Byun stims forward just a little bit, but what he has in quality, he does not have in quantity. So Cure now stims forward, trying to get on top of this tank, and he does, but that doesn't work out for Cure all that well. Vikings continue to maraud on forward, looking for medevacs to go down. But the problem we're seeing right now is Byun just does not have the production. He does not have, even if he has a somewhat stable economy. And that's not even true, of course, with the fact that, well, he's been forced to lift up his 3rd. He's only building 6 Marines at a time. He's only on 3 barracks. He's building 2 more on the way, sure, but this production that Byun has is just really hard to make happen. Even with the upgrade lead, the bio can just not stand strong. A couple SCVs fall, tank sieged up, and that's going to be enough to force Cure back for the moment. But the supplies continue to build for Cure. Again, that being said, Byun was 2-2. If he can build enough Marines, if he can weather the storm here, if he can build some Liberators, and that's going to allow him to maybe take advantage of his air dominance, that's something. Byun now stimming forward. His +2 armor not done just yet, and we're seeing the Marines are fighting better than they're supposed to, but again, more stuff does beat less stuff, and Byun now on 20 supply. Almost bringing him back, just give him a little more time. That's all he needed, but that little time is not going to be something that Cure will afford him. And now, folks, Cure getting his revenge already from the grand finals of last Monday. There's nothing that Byun can do anymore, even with the Liberators sieging on up. Cure will lose this entire army. Byun will lose this entire army, losing his economy as well. And yeah, the Liberators are spooky. They're spoopy indeed, but that is really not going to be enough, as it looks like we're having connection problems with the Korean server for the moment. I do apologize, but it seems like it's probably only on my end. And there we have it. Byun taps out. Cure, he takes game 1. So Byun went for a Reaper expand. Game 1. It kind of worked out for him. He got the minor economic lead. He lost a couple SCVs, but really nothing too terrible. But now we're into game 2, and Byun's not going for that. And actually, it looks like Cure is, and it's a lot ballsier to go for this build on Inside and Out than it is to do it on Data C. Data C is a big map. Data C has a decent rush distance. Inside and Out is short as hell. Inside and Out is a very small map. It is a Reaper-friendly map. And yeah, sure, there's a ramp. But even still. Byun, of course, with that Reaper on the way. We're going to see a factory go down behind this one, because that's just the way the build works. Barracks Double Gas Factory expand. I feel like there needs to be a better name for it. 2 gas expand? I'm not even sure who came up with the build, because it seems like all of a sudden we just saw everyone doing it all at once. It just permeated the Terran zeitgeist. And it appears that Dark is up 1-0 on Cyan on the other side of the bracket. So I guess we're actually not going to see much. We're just going to see winner of this series versus Dark, most likely. We're not going to get caught up. Well, I guess we are, because we were ahead and Dark was behind. So Dark probably should finish that series off by the time that we're done with this one, which, dare I dream, an Open Cup, a Korean Open Cup that ends before 2 in the morning. Now, it's sad because we're missing out on a couple of the usual suspects. Missing out on Classic, on Hero. Man, Byun versus Hero, Byun versus Classic are just always so good. Solar, who's starting to playing these a little more. But it's, of course, absolutely understandable that Hero is not playing in this because, you know, for those of you that are maybe not paying as much attention as others, GSL is in 2 days, is on Monday morning. And that's going to be Hero versus Maru. Either we finally have the G5L, or we have the first Protoss champion in the GSL, or in the GSL proper, because we had a lot of Protoss winning GSL super tournaments. But the first GSL proper champion of the Protoss race in like 5 years, 5.5 years, since Stats did it. That is something to be celebrated. Indeed, it is insane that. I mean, it is insane that it's been that long, because I mean the amount of Protoss the amount of Protoss finalists we've had is significant. But it feels like they always just stumble at that last hurdle. We're gonna have to see whether Hero will stumble or whether Maru is gonna be denied the G5L. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. That's just, you know, again, we normally would have Hero playing on the other side of the bracket from Byun, and we'd normally have them in the finals or the semis if we have Dark, because Dark is swimming in ESL points after his Valencia win. But now Kira trying to get active on the map, really just doing the exact same build that Byun did in game 1. And because Byun did not opt to get aggressive at this whatsoever, we're seeing the advantage of Reaper Expand versus 2 Gas Expand. It's about 3 workers, 3, 4, 5, actually 5 workers right now as the macro cycles hit. So, yeah, I mean, Byun, he's just going to have to come to terms with the fact that his tech's a little ahead, but he's a little bit far behind. Or he's a little bit behind, not far behind, but he's just a little bit of time, a little bit behind from a macro perspective, or from an economic perspective. And that means Curious third base is on the way a lot faster than Byun's. And if he's allowed to get away with this one too, Byun's third base on the way in the main base, Cure getting his third base again much faster, about 50% build time faster, and on location. I mean, Cure, given enough time, will just run away with this game. So now Byun scans out of the main. He's really not going to get much information here. He says, well, maybe he's going to get the timing on the barracks. He sees the 2 SCVs, and that should tell him that there are 2 additional barracks on the way if he was still looking. But I mean, really, that was not the best. That was not the best scout from Byun. Cure scans the main base as well, because he says, okay, well, Byun, do you have anything super spooky here? And Byun's army, it's a little techie heavier. It's 2 tanks to 1, but that really is about it. Cure, this has been worth it. The gas expand, the Reaper expand from Cure has absolutely been worth it. Here's the Hellions are going to get found out by Byun as well, but at least he knows, okay, at the Hellion count that Cure has, that maybe he's going to tell Byun something about how this game started. Who do I think is going to win the GSL? Oh, good win of mine though. Nice job, Byun. I think it's going to be like a 4-3, 4-2, but I think Maru takes it. I think Hero's TVP or PVT is very good, but I don't think it's as good as Maru's TVP. Hero's PVT is certainly not as good as his PVZ, which is rocking like a cool, casual 85% win rate in maps, just as one does. I mean, easy, you know, as expected. But yeah, I think Maru takes it, but I think it's 4-2, 4-3, and I think there are going to be some really sick games. Okay, here comes a push from Byun. He's not really up on much of anything. This does not feel good. So he's going to try to make the push happen. Hellions try to dive in. They're going to deny maybe 1 barracks. They get a couple SCVs. They're really leaning into that economic advantage that Cure already has. He finds the third base undefended. This is a problem. Byun, again, that does mean that there is no army, less of an army from Cure defensively. And actually, Cure is a little bit out of position here. And now Byun running forward. He does have more Vikings, it looks like. Yeah, 6-5. Auto turrets get dropped, spanned about everywhere. SCVs are going to get pulled. Cure just needs to hold this and he wins the game. But is he going to be able to hold? All the Marines are dead. Tanks knock everything down. Yeah, this is just... Byun's dead here. It's not going to work out. He tried, and there we go, folks. That's that. Cure's in the finals. Bippity-bappity-boppity.